There's no denying that Marvel Comics have made their superheroes just as famous on the big screen as the comic book page, but it didn't come without some problems. While the Avengers may be dominating the box office, the X-Men churning out sequels and spin-offs by the year, and even Deadpool becoming a blockbuster hit, the road here isn't all smooth sailing, and the worst moments can be hard to forget. Here are 10 Marvel movie moments that outraged fans. Emo Spider-Man. The moment Tobey Maguire was cast as Peter Parker was enough of a shock, but the actor pulled off the challenge in 2 Spider-Man films, getting better from one to the next. Then Spider-Man 3 happened, and Peter had a bit of a personality crisis. Director Sam Raimi was probably going for some offbeat laughs, but the insane antics of Emo Spider-Man turned off most fans and helped kill the franchise fast. Jean Grey kills Cyclops. Fans may have forgotten about Jean Grey going crazy and murdering Professor X in X-Men 3, since Bryan Singer apparently did too, returning him to life in Days of Future Past. But as bad as it was to see him killed, Cyclops faced an even worse fate. The first 2 movies had failed to deliver the eye-blasting leader fans knew and loved, but why director Brett Ratner thought it was smart to have Jean kill him off in the first few minutes of the movie, off-screen, is a question that can never be answered. Fantastic Four's Galactus. The first Fantastic Four may not have been perfect, but it stopped short of making unforgivable mistakes. Something that can't be said for the sequel. We'll never know why anyone thought it wise to put Jessica Alba in the worst blue contacts and bleached blonde wig we've ever seen, but when the fan-favorite Marvel villain Galactus became a cloud in space, the fans turned their backs completely. Fantastic Four's final fight. Why kill a movie franchise just once, when you can pull it off twice? Fans had nothing but hope for Josh Trank to reinvent Marvel's Fantastic Family, but by the time it released, reports of studio interference and massive reshoots made it clear nobody was happy with the movie going to theaters. There was plenty wrong with the reboot, but the soulless, boring, and downright awful final battle put the previous version of the team to shame. Daredevil's Seesaw Battle. Star Ben Affleck may not have been the reason that the Daredevil movie fell flat, but it's hard to get fans to agree on what was, until you mention the playground fight scene with Elektra. In hindsight, a movie in which a woman fights a blind man on a seesaw probably isn't going to be a hit with everyone. The movie may have had dumber moments, but it was this scene specifically that started the eyes rolling until the final credits. The Mandarin. When it was announced that Tony Stark would finally battle the evil Mandarin in Iron Man 3, Marvel fans were thrilled, or at least curious to see how the studio would handle the villain, originally a pretty obvious racial stereotype. The outrage started when Sir Ben Kingsley was cast in the role, but the other shoe fell when even his version was revealed to be the performance of a bumbling actor. One massive joke from director Shane Black that tons of Marvel fans found anything but funny. Storm vs. Toad. Look on any list of the worst comic book movie moments or dumbest lines of dialogue, and you're guaranteed to find Storm's lame zinger.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Avengers director Joss Whedon has since claimed credit for the line, meant as an actual joke and never intended to be read as a tough-talking one-liner. It might be the worst moment in Bryan Singer's run on the mutant team, and it's one that fans or critics will never forget. Wolverine's Magic Bullet. What's the one thing that can make a clunky, confused, cheesy Wolverine movie worse than an absolute butchering of Deadpool? How about the delivering of an adamantium bullet to the hero's brain, making sure he never remember his own origin story? Since it made the previous 2 hours completely meaningless to the larger series, and actually caused even more continuity problems, fans were justified in hating what the studio had done to one of its most beloved stars and characters. The Death of Coulson. After shining in a small Iron Man role, Agent Phil Coulson started moving up in the MCU, becoming a full-blown main cast member in Iron Man 3 and the Avengers. And just when fans couldn't love Coulson or actor Clark Gregg anymore, he got his most badass moment standing up to Loki himself, before getting a spear through his chest and dying minutes later. It brought the Avengers together as a team, but it outraged and crushed fans everywhere, almost as much as when Marvel returned Coulson from the dead for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so take your pick. Deadpool's debut. For years, Ryan Reynolds had fans convinced that he would make the perfect Deadpool, until he finally got his chance, as a backup character and villain in X-Men Origins Wolverine. His debut as the unpowered Wade Wilson proved the studio had gotten the casting right, but by the time he was revealed, mutated, scarred, and inexplicably silenced, it was as disappointing as the rest of the movie. Thankfully, it earned him a second shot. Those are just some of the Marvel movie moments that had fans furious, turned off, or fed up. But which ones have we missed? Let us know in the comments, and remember to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.